quiet of the storm, where the heavy hearts are warm. A voice unheard, a soul reborn. Strong but silent, the weight they bear, breaking walls in the open air. Strong but silent, the truth is clear, let it out. We're always here.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of the Strong but Silent Men's Mental Health Show. I am your host, Tom Kelly. With me, as always, my co-hosts in crime, Alan Andrikavich and Mike Fuji. Fellas, what's going on tonight?
Nothing much. How are you guys? Good to see you guys again. Love to see you.
It's been a while. I haven't seen you fellas in
A couple days.
Hey, you say a couple days.
Couple days, right? Patterson Ave on Monday, doing a little Olympic talk. So tonight we are in our sixth installment of the Strong but Silent Men's Mental Health Show, the third live episode that we are doing. And tonight's topic, we're going to kind of break down men and sadness and what it really looks like. Sadness is a I don't want to be too vulgar, but it's a mofo. It's a mofo for sure. All right, so let's jump right in here. So Alan, let's start with you. When you hear the word sadness, what comes to mind as a man?
When I hear sadness, I don't know, depression. Just depressing things that are making you sad or making you anxious in a way. Sadness in men, it comes in many different forms, right? We might not cry and tear up and all that kind of stuff, but we might be more irritable when we're holding something in, when we're dealing with something that's making us sad or uncomfortable. Sadness is hard. You come from losing someone that you love, just financial issues, problems. It's hard to decipher, put that down, but I mean, I think that's where I'm at. How about you, Fuj?
like you said, anxiety, panic attacks. Oh, not so much panic attacks, but pretty much what you were saying. I mean, in financial issues, the loss of a loved one, that somebody sick, a friend, all the above.
I find myself I'm a fairly happy-go-lucky individual. I think that I live 85% of my life is a pretty happy-go-lucky guy. Every once in a while, man, I'll get smacked in the face with whatever that emotion is, sadness, feeling down, whatever you want to call it. And sometimes it takes the wind out of me. And I'm not the same person. And then when people, and I've dealt with this a lot in my adult years, people will think, what's wrong with him? Is he like, because my ups are really up, and sometimes my downs are really down. Not all the time, but enough to where people will be like, maybe Tom's bipolar. I mean, I've thought it myself. I got tested, 10, 15 years ago. I didn't. I don't. I'm not. But yeah, when going through it, sometimes I get caught up in myself, and I don't know. It's hard to explain.
I mean, sadness can come out, especially in men, in such varying forms. It could be anger, it can be irritability, aggression, risky behavior, doing stuff that you normally wouldn't do, like whatever. Taking chances, and you know what I mean? We express our sadness in I think definitely not ways that can help us. Because I think it still falls back on that stigma that we're not allowed to be sad. We're not allowed to be down. We're not allowed to, we're not allowed to feel that. So it comes out in anger. It comes out in, irritability. Just like, trust me, I've had days moving, buildings and stuff, and just not feeling right, and having having my core people that I had there. Now I have, don't have any core people. So now I'm like, I kind of got in a place where I've just, people kind of just left me alone. You know what I mean? Until I finally was able to get out of that and start talking and conversating and things like that. And a few people have told me, man, I thought you were a real asshole. And I was like, oh, well, don't let me fool you. Like I am, but but yeah. When I came in here, I was not in the right mental state, and it came off. And people who don't know me saw it immediately.
What we had at FedEx was special, though. That was a really good support system. Really good group of people working together, and that turned into friends. It turned into brothers. We really did. And I consider myself lucky every day that even though things for our employer didn't necessarily work out with the core group of guys we have, I forged friendships and gained family members there. I'll never lose, obviously, as we're sitting next to each other here, on the screen tonight. So but let me keep it pushing forward here. Fuge. Let me ask you, why do you think that sadness is often the hardest emotion for men to admit?
Just men try to carry on, and just got to be strong. Well, that's the stereotype of it. But,
Right.
I mean, throughout my life, I've gone through mood swings, depression. Times I thought over the years, and I was tested, and, for bipolar, and I'm not. There's one day it can be high and, wake up feeling great. All of a sudden just get depressed for whatever reason. No particular reason, just it hits you like.
And it's
me, speaking for myself.
No,
and it throws people around you off, and it's the last thing we want to do is put people out on an island and make people you don't want to react or feel like that or be like that. At least I know I don't, but sometimes it just comes over you, it takes over you. It's not an easy thing to go through. And look, there's a lot of people out there that deal with a lot more than what we're describing here now. But this stuff that we're talking about here isn't easy. Sadness makes you feel like you're weak, like you're failing, not just yourself, but your family as well. You don't want people to be brought into your sadness, so you mask it. Exactly. But my thing is, I can't hide emotions at all. I am horrible at it. I wear it on my face, and it took me years to understand when other people would talk to me about it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, no, I'm fine. When you say you're fine, you're obviously not. And I am if anybody deals with me, if I'm down or I'm upset about something and I'm trying to play it off, I have no poker face. So there's no reason for me to play cards whatsoever.
Yep. No, I agree, dude. I'm Tom. I'm the same way, man. I have my initials with a heart, connecting them because I wear my heart on my sleeve. You know, I could be, and there's days where you like Food said, you put on that brave face, but that, people who know you they see right through it.
Yes.
No,
People who know you see right through it.
I mean, if something's wrong with me or if I'm depressed, I'm just quiet. Like, just,
Yeah.
I don't say a word.
I try not to bring other people in. I try to stay to myself, thinking that that's the right thing to do. But when you wear your emotions on your sleeve or on your face, not only does it not, are you not, you're doing the people around you a disservice by, trying to hide stuff. So I'm not good at it. Like there's even no hiding at this point.
Right.
I'm just bad at it.
Exactly.
And that's the whole thing. I think all men are bad at it. To be honest with you,
Some people can hide it. Some people can hide it better than others.
yeah. And unfortunately, some people hide it with drugs and alcohol, and they use that, just like Tom was talking about, isolating themselves. They try to keep away from everyone.
Excuse me.
You find yourself dealing with more problems, trying to bury the mental problems. It's a slippery road, guys. So you gotta be very careful.
It is. It for
Mhm.
sure is. Is sadness something men are taught to hide? Where does that conditioning start? I think it starts at a young age. If you have a father figure in your life who's not really an emotional guy in that regard, like doesn't really show sadness,
Mhm.
doesn't get upset. Like my dad was great. Like I had a dad growing up. I'm lucky. A lot of people had fathers and a lot of people had nobody. I had a dad. He wasn't very emotional. I've only seen him cry a handful of times. Once when my daughter was sick and a couple of times at funerals, and that was it. And there's nothing, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think, so the word conditioning, I don't think I was conditioned. I just think, you learn by observation. I didn't learn from that. I was the opposite end. I was very emotional guy. I do tear up. I do show emotion in front of people, but that's me.
No. My father was a dad. He was great. He was there for everything. But yeah, he was very much like your dad. Very stoic, very composed. Seemed it anyway. So yeah.
Sean Kilran checking in. What's up, guys? For me, sadness is the loss of my dad in 2017. I'm sorry to hear that, Sean. Unexpectedly, and it hit me hard. And he was a diehard Eagles fan. That was it for me. And some people said I've changed since. Sean, I've been around people who've lost patriarchs, the matriarchs in their family, that parent that meant everything to them. And I've literally watched it take something from them. What exactly it is that I'm saying that it took, I don't know. A piece of them, a part of their innocence, a part of their childhood, their youth, something. It just, I've watched it. Being around people who've lost their family member, and it's not easy, man. I'm sorry that you lost your dad in 2017. And go Birds, go Birds up there for your old man.
Well, I can relate. I mean, thanks for checking in, Sean. And, Sean and I had a lot of talks. I can, totally relate because, I mean, I feel like a part of the spirit of me left when my mom passed. And, unfortunately it was sudden and, it breaks apart the inside. And you're never the same because I don't look at life the way I did once. I mean, all right, it's a little over 2 years, still grieving, but I realize the reality of it. My mom's never coming back. We all got memories, but that part of your spirit inside you is just broke. And You know, the loss of a parent, the loss of a spouse, a significant other, God forbid, a child. I mean, you just look at life in a different perspective, and it breaks you to the core inside.
I look at people that have lost parents, and I'm fortunate enough to be in my mid-40s, and I still have both my mom and dad and a grandmom. And I don't know. I don't know how I'll be. I don't know what that's going to do to me. I just know that I'm blessed and lucky right now to still have my parents in my life, and you know, for those that have lost one or both, you know, my heart goes out.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you. Hey, what's up?
It is. It definitely is life changing, without a doubt. I mean, it's a shame we all got to go through it.
He said, thanks. I know he was watching down the day we won our first Super Bowl. One thing I do know, pictures and videos are what keeps memories alive for sure. Absolutely. And stories and talking and sharing good times and things like that for sure. Okay. So I'll throw this one out there. Alan, we'll throw this to you. What's the difference between feeling sad and feeling weak?
I'm sad, feeling weak. Oh man, that's a tough one. Okay.
The way I look at it is like feeling weak is to me. Okay, so I'll give you a little how I look at it, and maybe you can kind of bounce off of that.
Yeah.
Feeling weak to me is more of a physical thing. Feeling sad to me is more of an emotional thing. Some people, I believe, equate feeling sad with being weak, but to me that's
okay, that makes sense. No, that totally makes sense. You know, sadness is up here because I believe it is anyway, because you're living in what's going on, the moment or the past or whatever, and that's what's driving the sadness. As for being weak, I would even go as far as, like, you know, letting yourself give in to the temptations, you know, of things that you've, you know, tried keeping yourself from. That would constitute a weak individual to me. Just yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that.
All right. We have another comment here. Hollis is actually going to be a guest on our music show tomorrow night. She's a friend of the show, friend of the network. She's one of the co-founders of the Voice of the People USA radio and TV network, and she joins in and says, "Hey everyone, great show. I lost my dad in 2018. It definitely changes you. It feels like it really real, and time feels so short. It's like you're not a kid anymore after you lose a parent. They live in your heart every day, though." Yes. So for those of you guys who don't know, Holly, I'll plug your YouTube series. She has a YouTube series called Holly, The Building of Holly's Playhouse. And I watched it, you know, getting ready for having her as a guest on the show, doing some research. And I watched you speak about losing your father. And I watched some of the loss that you experienced during that. And to share that, it's just kind of like what we're trying to do here and share feelings and share emotions. Could not have been easy. And it takes a lot of courage to do that. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you for chiming in and jumping into the comments here today. We greatly appreciate it. And I look forward to having you on. No skips tomorrow. Like I said, again, thank you. And so we'll do our normal. She said, "Thank you. Looking forward to the show so much. We are looking forward to it as well." So this is the time where before we get into a couple more questions, we'll put out our normal weekly. If you want to chime in on the show, if you want to be on the show, you want to join us. We've already had a viewer who watched the show, who chimed in, reached out to me directly. You can message me directly. We had him on the show the following week, and he had lost his a child, and it was just terrible. But we do this to show you, one, that there's strength and vulnerability. I think that was one of the things I expressed initially when we started doing the show, that there's strength and vulnerability. Just because we come from a men's perspective on the show does not mean, obviously with Holly in the comments here, does not mean that we are solely talking just in the men's realm of things. We're just giving it from our perspective, but this is a show for everyone. So like I said, if you're watching, if you want to join in, you want to jump on the show with us, please reach out. If you need somebody to talk to, Alan and I and Mike say this all the time, you can absolutely reach out to us. We are very easy to find on Facebook. I don't have a difficult name. So please reach out. You will not get turned away, put it that way, if you need someone to talk to. And I don't care what time of the day or night it is. All right, let's jump back in here. What's that?
I said I'd rather hear your story than anything else.
All right.
So here's, does male sadness always look like tears, or can it look like anger, silence, or withdrawal? Fuge, what are your thoughts on that, buddy?
Repeat that, please.
So it's, does male sadness always look like tears, or can it also look like anger, silence, or withdrawal? Like withdrawing from society, withdrawing from your friends, your family.
I think it could be any of the three.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I'll be blunt. Stays I'm down, feel withdrawn. Like, I think as you get older, you lose a lot of people. People change. Just lives. Everybody's lives just go in different directions. You're not like, you and me met what, 5, 6, 7 years ago, Tom?
Yes, sir.
And the last year, little over a year. I mean, you're not people with friends with that you were friends with 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Tell me about it.
It's just, life gets in the way. People get married, you have kids, people just don't talk. People stop talking.
Yeah.
You don't realize, like, when you're growing up, like, a lot of people just go their own ways, and it's, life is just like a turnstile. Like, you just meet people from all different walks of life. You become friends with other folks and whatever.
But no, I totally feel like sadness can be I brought off or put on as anger, frustration, all of those things. That just how it rears its ugly head. I think, and sometimes, I don't know, maybe, I'll it's happened to me by myself, after getting out of the shower or something, feeling down. You look into your own eyes and you can feel what you're feeling, right? And you start to cry, you start to tear up. You start to get that shit out of you because it's got to come out. And right now, me crying in the bathroom is better than me going downstairs looking, being irritable and just wanting people to leave me alone.
That's funny. That's funny. Literally, the word you used was the next question. Why do some men experience sadness through irritability or frustration? Yeah.
Getting older, like, you're not, what you could do in your 20s and 30s, you can't do. And for myself and I'll be 54 next month. I can't we're not bulletproof, and as they say, Father Time's undefeated.
Undefeated, brother.
Is that what I said? Did I say undefeated?
Yeah, you said undefeated.
All right, no, all right. I just wanted to make sure.
You're good, Fudge. You're good. So I guess I'll hit myself with this one, and we'll go there. How does pride impact a man's willingness to admit he's hurting? I've seen it on too many times where a guy will be doing himself a disservice by trying to tough it out, by sucking it up, by shaking it off. And the older you get, the more you realize the disservice you're doing yourself by not, I guess, owning up to these feelings. Look, they're there, that you're hurting, that you're upset, that you're sad. It's not, if you think about telling someone your true feelings and emotions, to think that is a sign of weakness is crazy to me, because the courage that it takes to muster up the guts to be like, I'm really hurting, I'm upset, to dig down deep enough to pull that out and then show it to people and make yourself vulnerable to judgment, to ridicule, potentially, to all of the things that come with putting yourself out there. In my opinion, I firmly believe it takes so much more courage to do that way than it does to keep everything in and not show any. That's almost you're hiding, you're masking what you're actually going through, instead of letting it out and maybe getting some relief and getting that off your chest.
And maybe in some cases getting some answers, right? Maybe you're going through stuff at your job or at your house, and you're just not certain of what is going on, but it's bringing you down. Like you said, talking about it can maybe alleviate those issues, those problems for you.
Well, I mean, hey, if I got something going on, I'm going to let you know about it. I mean, I don't hold back. I used to, but it's better to let it out to somebody. Even if you got to stop and decompress, because like we all said, we wear our emotions on our sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
And I got no problem admitting and having the courage to let it out, because I don't care. I don't care who's around or what the hell I'm going through. I'm going to put it out there right on the damn table. Not ashamed of it either.
And your friends, whereas we have, the three of us have a hilarious back and forth before shows and after shows and during shows a lot of times. But if somebody's going through something, I've seen instances where your friends, your people will absolutely knock off any messing around and hey, what's up? What's going on? Are you good? I mean, when we end our shows, we always say, I love you. Like, yeah, Fuge, I've known you 6 years. You've known Alan a year and a half. Alan and I have known each other a long time. But like for guys that do that, like it's a lot, man. It's like, I love you, man. Just if you need anything, and we've already all texted each other. Look, if I know you're going through this, I know you're having a rough time, Fuge. You just lost a dear friend of yours. It's like, look, if you need anything, you need to talk. I don't care if it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Call me.
Yeah, absolutely. If I don't answer, I will always call you back.
Yeah, 100%. So here's a good one. What are subtle signs that a man might be struggling emotionally?
Withdrawal,
like backing away and not being as.
I'll tell you this. I have no problem putting it out on the air. Like those couple weeks I took off, I actually thought about walking away from podcasting. No lie, like was just going to bag it all. Philly Flair.
Yep. And when you did that,
and you've seen You saw my text messages.
Yeah, when you did that, I didn't want to be like, nah, man, you don't want to do that. I wanted to be sensitive to what you were going through and what you were feeling. I also felt like if he's like me, he'll he might be thinking that, but I think he'll realize that this is more of an outlet than it is a hindrance. When you're struggling with stuff emotionally, coming on social media, being on, in front of groups of people, talking isn't always something you want to do. But when you're in that good place and when you're all right, this is a therapeutic thing. It's a fun thing to do. We have great people chiming in on the text board. We get such good feedback from not only this show, but a lot of the shows on our network. This can almost be a tool to use to help you feel better and maybe get you through something that, if you're down, but then you get on a topic on a show and then at least it gets something out of your mind for a little while. Yep. So that's why I was never insensitive to what you were when you were saying that. I was just like, look, dude, if that's what you want to do, I'm here, we're always here. Mm-hmm. You always have a home no matter what. And, I'm glad you didn't take a hiatus. I am, like an extended one. You took some time and we love having you here, dude.
Honestly, I was ready to say the hell with it. I'm done.
Well, I'm glad you did.
Yeah, me too.
Appreciate it.
Me too. And as much as busting chops as we do and joking as we do, none of this would feel the same without you.
Yeah, I know.
No, I deeply appreciate it, sincerely.
We appreciate you, brother. Look, we'll do a couple more before we get out of here. We're already in over a half hour here. I like to keep these a little short so the message doesn't get stale. How does the phrase "man up" damage emotional growth?
Man up. Stop being a sissy. Stop, man up. Just do it.
Love you too, Norm. Thank you.
Man up. How does that?
While you're thinking about that, Alan, I'm going to read this comment from Sean Kilran. I think it has to do with your attitude and how you once were and how you are now, because it's almost like you lost a piece of yourself, like you said.
Mm.
So yeah, the phrase "man up," it to me, and again, I'll maybe you could bounce off of me, Alan. Yeah. The phrase "man up," it doesn't allow you. It's almost like a switch. You turn it off. You turn off the emotions. You turn off what you're allowing yourself to feel, and in that moment, okay, but it does do some damage to you in the long run, as this is stuff we've talked about on other episodes where, the older you get, the more you realize, crap, maybe I was doing it wrong, or maybe not wrong for everybody, but wrong for me. Maybe it wasn't healthy for me to man up all the time. Maybe I needed to allow myself to feel and process, whatever it was I was feeling, whether it was sadness or being upset or whatever. So, I mean, for me, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with that. The man up is just grit your teeth and bear it, get through it. You're not happy with the situation. You're not happy with what's going on, but you're going to man up. You're going to get through it. But like you said, depending on if it's mental or if it's physical, right? The physical thing, man up. It's like, all right, you twisted your ankle, it hurts, like man up. But when it's the emotional side, that's definitely, it's kind of like a punch in the gut a little bit when you tell somebody to man up when they're going through, when they're going through like some serious mental shit.
Yeah, man.
You twist your ankle, I'll tell you to man up.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay. Yes, absolutely. That's different. Than manning up because you're upset about something. Yeah, I get that. Norm saying, I want to take a different perspective. Man up means what you want it to mean. I lost my mom in 2019 and my dad in 2021. I told myself to man up because people depended on me. I became a workaholic. To drown out the sadness and keep my mind active. That's Yeah, that is a that I understand the different perspective there, but I also see that you used man up not in the blocking of the emotion of your parents passing a couple of years apart, but you used it in the term of I can't let this emotion drown me either. There's people that depend on me, and I have to get out there and I have to be everything that they need me to be. So yeah, that is definitely a different take on it, a different perspective where it'll work. That's different. I feel like that's a different context. Absolutely.
I mean, just from my perspective, I kind of feel like man up, all right, forget about your emotions and keep going. But it's like, well, really, whatever's going on, whether it's grieving or like really that emotional side to you, like you really got to to me, you really got to think it through emotionally as a man, like what's going on, and really like come to your, like put it into perspective in your own feelings rather than just say, all right, man up, sweep it under the rug and forget all about it. Where you got to like step back and really think like, what the hell am I going through? What's the situation?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And the situations always change, right?
Right.
Man up over this, and
It's easy. It's easy for someone to say man up because they don't know what the hell you're feeling and they don't know what you're going through.
right. No, that's another.
Everybody reacts different to situations. It's like the grieving stage. I was told give yourself grace and grieve as much as you want.
Yeah.
And if nobody likes it, too flipping bad. Get over it.
Not only should you give yourself some, I think all of us in this world right now deserve a little grace and deserve to give ourselves a little grace.
Absolutely.
Well, not everybody has compassion and common courtesy and no empathy. I mean, it's just, it's not the world we grew up in. And I feel bad for, our children that got to see what we didn't see, whatever.
Yeah.
Today. And like, it's cliche, but the world is it's one thing my great uncle always said, God have mercy on him. It's not the world, it's the people in it. And like, just, the good outweighs the bad in the grand scheme of things. But, there's not really a lot of empathy today. I mean, people are, hate to say it, but some people are just flat out bastards.
Well, yeah.
And callous.
Everyone's so busy, right? Everyone's so busy. You might get done work and you gotta, run this kid to this practice and get him from this thing after school, and oh crap, I got this report due for work, and blah blah blah. I gotta make dinner. I gotta walk the dog. I gotta, everyone. You never know what people are going through, right?
Exactly.
And some people can come off a little callous in that respect. But again, you never know what somebody's going through.
Well,
you could have funny guy, like that funny guy at work who's always cracking jokes. He could be feeling some shit that he just doesn't never talks about.
Robin Williams.
Well, I was going to say that you think about, they talk about comedians to make people laugh. Like, perfect example, Tom, Robin Williams. Like they always say, like comedian, he would crack jokes because to make people laugh, but he was probably feeling lonely and sad inside. And, unfortunately, the man killed himself, died too young.
Way too young. But it's another one of those things. If you don't feel like you have a proper outlet, and you can run into stuff like that.
Yes.
Well, look, everybody. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I want to thank everybody for jumping in on the text board. Again, I know I can speak for Alan and Fuge when I say we greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All the feedback. Look, you need to talk to somebody, reach out to one of us.
Please
You would
do.
if you want to jump on the show, reach out. We'll get you on here. You can, this is that phrase, safe space.
Yep.
That popped up a few years back. This is a safe space for folks. If you want to come, you want to talk about stuff, you want to share what you're feeling, even if you just want to be around other people, jump on.
Well, I mean, men or women. I mean,
Yes.
we say men's mental health, but women.
Everyone deals
go,
with it.
Everyone
go through
deals.
it too.
Yep.
Everyone deals with it. Absolutely.
For sure.
Exactly.
It's okay to not be okay, guys. Remember
Yep,
that.
absolutely
that.
is. So for Mike Fuji, for Alan Andrzejkowicz, I'm Tom Kelly. This is the Strong But Silent Men's Mental Health Show, and we're out of here.
Love.
In the quiet of the storm.